The assembly which has to be changed is part of this hydraulic cylinder. When selecting the corresponding item, keytech displays the graphical preview instantly. If this preview is not sufficient, I can use the integrated keytech viewer to get a detailed picture of the current situation. The updated structure allows direct access to all product components. It is specifically this cooling plate which shall be changed, and one of the first questions will be the question of where used. We can see that the cooling plate is used in 1, 2, 3, 4 different hydraulic cylinders. The cooling plate is related to this WinWord document. Maybe there is an image of the cooling plate which is used in this Word document. Of course, all these parent models and documents have to be considered accordingly when changing this component. When selecting the cooling plate and calling the function load, keytech prepares all models which I need to work on this model. Let me start to change the model. Therefore, I open the model and I get a response that my permissions are not sufficient to change the model. I can see that the model is a model of the status archive, obviously an old revision. The integrated info function allows me to directly jump from the 3D model to the corresponding keytech data. The document of the status archive, the corresponding master item with its metadata, and the structure which displays a complete history of my model starting from the revision dash, which I have currently in work, to revision A, and the currently released revision B. Of course, I want to edit based on the most recent revisions of all components. I can replace the model now. Keytech makes sure that all connections, relations and positioning information are preserved during the process. Now I start to edit the single part. For this, I switch to the SolidWorks Editing mode. With the help of the drafting tools, I create the desired 3D tool, and via the function Cut Out, I perform my changes. Back to the assembly. In the next step, I want to insert a new part to this assembly. I place the new part on the upper surface. Let me use this surface to create my new part. I will also take the core contour of the plate to design my new part. Feature cutout. The part gets the size of 2 mm and is therefore completed. I switch back to my assembly and will have completed my changes of this model in 3D. At least I give a part name for my new part. After performing my changes, I store the edited assembly back into keytech Vault. I use the function keytech store all. For this, keytech displays the current status of my assembly in the Store dialog. Components with no icon are unmodified components. Components with a warning triangle are either modified or new parts. Let's start to create a new item for this part. The item form that you see here normally follows the principles of your ERP system. Therefore, mandatory fields, those are the yellow fields, or protected fields, are predefined. A drop-down sign next to the field means that keytech provides support for entering this information data. A simple click provides here, for example, description 1 in German and in English. A second click completely fills the material description, number, group, and further material information like density. With the OK button, the data is created. For the plate in the assembly, I decide to create a new document revision. I use the function store to store the files into the keytech Vault. The preview is generated automatically. The revision counter is incremented automatically. The plate gets the new revision index C and the assembly the index A. Both models are in work. Let's have a look on the process result. We started with the assembly revision dash. This revision contained an old part, which we replaced with the most recent revision and changed it. We created a new index C and we inserted a new part. Up to now, we only have worked in the context of the 3D model. Now I want to create a new drawing revision. I use the function load latest revisions, and SolidWorks updates my drawing automatically. Once again, I use the function store to create a new document revision with the keytech store dialog. After that, the keytech change management comes up and I have to put in my change notes. After I have confirmed my change notes, I can store the new drawing revision. The drawing is stored into the keytech vault now, the preview is generated, and the title block is updated in SolidWorks. For this, the item data, the document data, and also the data of the change management can be used. Drawings can be stamped, for example, to avoid that not released drawings are delivered to the production by accident. If necessary, the drawing has to be checked, missing dimensions has to be added to release it afterwards. keytech manages the complete history of your product. Only with having the full history control on all items and documents you can manage an as-built situation. All model revisions are directly accessible. Each modification is documented.